Here, welcome everyone. We'll start with the new topic today, that is molecular basis of inheritance. Previous chapter we have studied about this that is basis of inheritance, principles of inheritance by Mendel. We'll continue with this inheritance only. That is now this is the second chapter in which is nothing but molecular basis of inheritance. Now, in this molecular basis of inheritance, what we are going to study is, we will be studying about different types of nucleic acid, that is DNA and RNA. We will study in detail the structure of DNA, we will study in detail the structure of RNA, then we will see what are the characteristics of genetic material, then we will see different experiments which help in giving this conclusion that genetic material, DNA is the genetic material or whatever. We have different experiments. Then we have this process of replication, DNA replication. Then we have DNA that is transcription, translation, which helps in the process of protein synthesis. Okay. Then we have differences between DNA and RNA. What are the differences? Then we have this operon. So, all these different topics are there, and this is also a very important topic according to intermediate examination point of view. Not just intermediate point of view, it is also very important for NEET as well. NEET as well, intermediate, IP point of view also it is very important. We will get a definite short and very short question from this lesson. We will get a definite short and very short question from this lesson, and here we find this basic, that is the processes, that is transcription, translation and replication. This is the basis for our next lesson. This is the basis for our next lesson. In the next lesson we have biotechnology, that is what are the tools of biotechnology. So, there you understand this lesson properly. If you understand this lesson properly now, you will be able to understand that lesson also easily. So, here all these lessons are not just proper, that is interlinked. So, understand it properly, listen it very carefully with full concentration, and I already said you the last lesson was also very important lesson according to examination point of view. This is also a very important lesson. So, starting with this, that is the lesson molecular basis of inheritance. So, first we will move on to, that is nucleic acids. What are nucleic acid? We might have heard the term nucleic acid. What are nucleic acids? Here nucleic acids are the big molecules. They are the big molecules, very big molecules which helps in carrying which carries the information of the cell, which carries it has the information of the cell, whatever the cell will be doing, what function the cell will be performing. So, every information it will be present in the nucleic acid. So, nucleic acid is a big molecule which contains the information of the cell, which contains the information of the cell, that is how the cell will be performing, what kind of function it will be performing. Okay. And it also helps, these nucleic acids, they help in protein synthesis. Nucleic acids are the bigger molecules which carries the information of the cell and help in protein synthesis. They help in synthesis of proteins, and main importantly they are the molecules, big molecules which determines the inherited characters. Inherited in the sense, what characters are going to be inherited by the children from their parents. Okay, what characters are going to be inherited by children from their parents. So, this inheritance of characters from parents to children, from one generation to another generation, this transfer of characters, this inheritance of characters is because of the molecule called as nucleic acid, is because of the molecule called as nucleic acid. That is whatever our functions of the body, so how a body function, how the cell will function, that information is also present in this nucleic acid. what type of protein it will be synthesizing, that information will also be present in the cell, in the nucleic acid, and the nucleic acid is also responsible for passing of characters from one generation to another generation. So basically, what is nucleic acid? Nucleic acid is a molecule. Nucleic acid is a big molecule which has the information of the cell. That is, our body is made up of many number of cells. So what those cells will be doing, what kind of function they will be performing, okay, everything regarding, that is, whatever our body's function, that is, some functions are being carried out in our body, it is by the cells. All the functions are carried out by the cells. We carry out respiration process, digestion process, excretion process, circulation process. All these processes are carried out by the cells. And who will give the information to the cell to carry out that process? How to carry out excretion, how to carry out respiration, all this information will be given to the cell by this nucleic acid. So that is why it is said nucleic acid is a big molecule which carry the main information of the cell, okay, and they will carry out these functions by synthesis of proteins, which helps in carrying out the basic functions of our body, okay. And apart from that, that is nucleic acid is also responsible for determining the inherited characters. It is also responsible for determining inherited characters, that is, which characters will be passed, how characters will be passed, which characters will be passed from parents to offsprings. So it is all because of nucleic acid. So nucleic acid is helping in determining the inherited characters. That is, we all know that is passing of characters from parents to that is children. It is because of the genetic material. It is because of the genetic material. So nucleic acid are the big molecules which has the genetic material. Now this nucleic acid was first observed by Friedrich Miescher. The nucleic acid was first observed by Friedrich Miescher in the year 1869. He observed that in pus cells, that is the Friedrich Miescher, he observed that in pus cells there is some acidic substance present. Friedrich Miescher, when he was doing research, he observed that in the pus cells there is some acidic substances present. There is the presence of some acidic substance, okay, and he named that acidic substance as nuclein. He named that acidic substance as nuclein. Friedrich Miescher, while doing his research, he found out that the pus cells will contain a acidic substance. Inside the pus cell, there is a acidic substance, okay, and he called that acidic substance as nuclein. He called that acidic substance as nuclein. Later on, after few years, that is in the year 1889, another scientist whose name is Altmann, he gave the term nucleic acid. The nuclein was given another term. Now it is this nuclein is called as nucleic acid. Nuclein is called as nucleic acid. Okay. So in short, we can define this nucleic acid as polymers of nucleotides. We can even call these nucleic acids as polymers of nucleotides. That is, we said now nucleic acid is a big molecule. This molecule, big molecule, is made up of combination of small molecules, that is small nucleotides will combine and form a big molecule. So that big molecule is called as the polymer. Polymer is nothing but a big chain of small units. Polymer is nothing but a big chain, a big molecule which is made up of small units. So this big molecule, nucleic acid, is made up of small units called as nucleotides. Small units called as nucleotides. So that is why we can even say nucleic acid is nothing but polymer of, it is a polymer of nucleotides. It is a polymer of nucleotides which carries the information of the cell, which carries the information of the cells and helps in the protein synthesis, helps in the synthesis of protein. And this will also, this big molecule or this polymer will also help in the inheritance of character from one generation to another generation, from one generation to another generation. So as this nucleic acids, it is also, this nucleic acid was first observed in pus cells by Friedrich Miescher. He said that there is some substance which is acidic in nature and he called that substance as nuclein. Later Altman gave this another name to this nuclein. Another name for the nuclein was nucleic acid, which we call as of now. Earlier it was called as nuclein by Friedrich Miescher. Later on this word nuclein has been modified or changed to nucleic acid. Now we call it as nucleic acid. So basically genetic material, as this molecules, nucleic acid molecules are the molecules which are responsible for the hereditary of characters, inheritance of characters from parents to children, from parents to their offspring. So that is, it is a genetic material. Nucleic acid is nothing but it is acting as the genetic material which is helping in transfer of information or transfer of characters from parents to offspring. So first, before moving on to what is nucleic acid, how it is made up of, what it is made up of, let us see first what are the characteristics which should be present in a genetic material. What are the characteristics which should be present in a genetic material? I am not going topic wise from your textbook. So I am taking the points and I am trying to make this explanation easier. I am trying to make the explanation easier. I am trying to explain you in an easier manner. So what I am doing is collecting all the information and accordingly I am explaining. Accordingly I am explaining. Okay. So here first we will move on to the characters. What are the characters by which we can determine that this is a genetic material, this can be considered as the genetic material. We said that it is passing the information. So what is the characteristic of the material which passes the information from one organism to another organisms? So here the genetic material, it should be able to replicate. The first characteristic the genetic material should have is, it should be able to replicate itself. The genetic material should be able to replicate itself. That is, here the nucleic acid, it should be able to replicate itself. We all know the living organisms grow, they function. So in our body many cells will be forming, many cell division is continuously taking place in our body. Even after the growth of this, till we grow, the cell division will be very fast. But after we grow, after we reach a specific, that a certain age, the growth will be stopped, the cell division will slow down, we will not grow further, but inside our body cell division will be taking place. So here inside the cell the genetic material will be present. So here when this cell divides, when a cell divides, for example, if this is a cell, inside this nucleus genetic material will be present. So when the cell divide it will form two cells. Now each will be having this genetic material, cell will have genetic material. So how it will be having? It was one cell now, only one genetic material was there. Now it is two cells. So both the cells should have genetic material. So how both the cells will get the genetic material? This genetic material should be able to make its copy. Replication is nothing but able to make a copy of itself. Before the cell divides, this will make this genetic material will be able to, the genetic material will be making a copy. Now instead of one, there will be two. When two is formed now, when this has been replicated, the cell will divide, the one will be going here and the new copy will be going in this cell. So that is replication. So when the cell divides, the genetic material should be able to replicate. When it doesn't replicate now and it goes to one cell, this cell will be waste, only one cell will be there. The cell is dividing so that the cell should increase, it should produce new cells. What is the use of the cell without this genetic material? There is no use, because this genetic material, this nucleic acid, which is nothing but it is acting as the genetic material, it is only carrying the information. When there is no genetic material, the cell will not have any information and the cell will not do any function. So for the cell to function, there should be nucleic acid. So if nucleic acid should be present in the newly formed cell, then this nucleic acid should be able to replicate. It should be able to form a new copy. It should be able to form a new copy. When new copy is there now, so older material will be going to one cell and the new copy will be able to go to another cell and both the cells will be functioning. So if we said that this is the genetic material, then this genetic material should be able to replicate. This genetic material should be able to replicate. Then only we will be calling it as genetic material. If this is not able to replicate, then it is not considered as genetic material, because it is only passing the information. If it doesn't replicate, what will be passing to the new cells, to the offsprings? So the first characteristic of the genetic material is the genetic material should be able to replicate. Okay, and the next is the genetic material should be able to mutate. The genetic material should be able to mutate, that is, it should be able to show mutations. Mutations are nothing but sudden changes in the genetic material. Sudden changes in the genetic material. So these sudden changes can be sometime useful and the sudden changes can be sometime harmful. Okay, there should be mutations. This genetic material should be able to show certain mutations. Okay, but that mutations can be useful to the body and it can be harmful also. But here, if this genetic material is unable to mutate, then we won't be able to find new proteins. This because genetic material is helping in the protein synthesis. When there is no mutation, exactly the same means there will be the same proteins and it will be going the same in the generations. Then there will be no evolution. There won't be any new characters. For the presence of new characters, because of new characters only, there will be the process of evolution. The organisms will evolve because of the new characters, and that new characters will be because of the mutations. It will be because of the mutations. So these mutations are very much essential for the evolution. If the genetic material is unable to mutate, then no new characters. Whatever the characters are there in the parent, that characters will be only passed. We don't find any new characters. We don't find any new characters. So, for the evolution, because evolution is a very important process for the survival. For the survival of living organisms, evolution, that is new characters, acquiring of new character is very important for the survival of the living organisms. So, this evolution is because of the mutations in the genetic material. Evolution is because of the mutations in the genetic material. As the genetic material is inheritable, that is, it can be passed from parents to children. So, here it should show mutations, then only the children will have new characters. So, if this genetic material is unable to mutate, there won't be new characters. When not new characters, then there won't be any evolution. So, the genetic material should be able to replicate and it should be able to show mutations. It should be able to show mutations. And the third is, it should be able to translate its information. Whatever genetic information is there inside the genetic material, whatever information is there in the genetic material, it should be able to translate that information, so that after translation it helps in the synthesis of, because during translation it helps in the synthesis of proteins. Whatever information is there in the genetic material, it should be translated during the formation of proteins, because the genetic material, that is the DNA, for example, DNA is the genetic material. So, it will give certain code to mRNA. By taking the code, this mRNA will help in translating the code, and because of that it is able to synthesize the proteins. How this process is done, you will see in the coming topics. As of now, you just remember that a genetic material, if we consider some substance as the genetic material, then that genetic material should have 3 characteristics. The first characteristic the genetic material should have is, it should be able to replicate, then it should be able to show mutations, and it should be able to translate its information. It should be able to translate its information. How this will be done, how this replication will be done, how this translation of information is done, we will see in the coming topics. We will see in the coming topics. Then we will discuss this characteristics again after completion of those topics. Okay. So, as of now, genetic material should be having, it should be able to replicate, it should be able to show mutations, and it should be able to translate its information. Now, in the next class, we will see the nucleic acids, how they are formed. That is, basically nucleic acids are of 2 types. One is DNA and another is RNA. We said nucleic acids are the big molecules which carries the information of the cell, which helps in protein synthesis and which helps in determining the inheritance of characters from parents to offsprings. So, these nucleic acid is of 2 types. We find 2 types of big molecules. That is, the first one is DNA and the second one is RNA. So, we will study in detail what is a nucleic acid in our next class.